Welcome back to Conversations with Chris.
And Crystal.
And today we're sharing with you another of the charm of simple things.
Charm of simple things. There it is. Larches. And so we're going to read, most of us, if we are honest with ourselves, will admit that we live too fast, too erratically, too crudely, and too thoughtlessly. The remedy or antidote for all of this is to live gently. That is by W. Philip Keller from a book called Taming Tension. So we kind of looked at that as, what did we think?
Peace.
Peace is having peace. And after doing the play,
We need peace.
I need a lot of peace. Yes, directing all those people.
Speaking of peace,
Are you speaking? Oh, yes. It's the bits and pieces that count. Women would like to make one big spiritual sacrifice. We would like to do one grand thing and be assured everything will work out well. It never does, just so you know. But we can't. It's the bits and pieces put together year after year that count. Sometimes we don't see meaning in the little things, and we are not conscious of how it all works together to create a powerful image. The little things we do at home, like putting wildflowers in a vase, are invisible medicine for all the bumps and bruises of family life. The connections we make in our daily rounds, an old photograph tucked into a frame, a lullaby each evening by the bedside, a hug among fresh, clean linens, are the putty that holds the mosaic together. And that's by Ingrid Trobish from Keeper of the Springs. And that's what women are. We're domestic goddesses. Mm-hmm. You know, my husband said, you know, when I arrange flowers in a vase, he says, oh, so they teach women that? Or, you know.
we just know.
We just know. We just know. And everybody's different. I know there's a lot of ladies who would say, no, I don't do that. Well, my mom was an artist, a painter, and a arranger of flowers. And so it came by osmosis, a lot of it,
Well,
having to do it with her.
yeah, I kind of feel like if you just look at it, you can see how it should go.
I actually
you
took
know?
classes.
Oh, did you?
I did. and honestly, my mom would never do it like a class would do it. It's hilarious. You know, she had an eye for the asymmetrical as opposed to symmetrical.
Oh.
So it was really always very unusual, but absolutely stunning. Everybody loved it. I don't think there was anybody who didn't love something that she did. It was like, wow, okay, got it. But yeah, so there's different ways to look at it, for sure. You can do them in threes, depending on what you're putting in and all that kind of stuff. I don't know. Everybody's got a edge, I think. One thing that I've been finding out lately is you can go to the store and you know how you can buy the flowers. Now, the Alstroemeria is a flower that will last 10 days.
Oh.
And they don't have any fragrance, which is nice if you have them on your table, because when people are eating, they really don't want fragrance coming at them while they're also trying to smell their food and that kind of thing. So you want something that doesn't smell. They last a long time. And the other thing that they're doing, at least that I've seen, is they actually will give you a bunch of greens, which I've always understood that to be the filler for when you buy the flowers. Well, I just get the greens.
And not the flowers?
No.
Oh.
I just get the greens, and they last for like a month, which is cool. In fact, Jeff noticed it. That's saying something.
Yeah.
He noticed. He said, that's really cool. I like that. That's really nice. I'm like, They've been there for 2 weeks now, you know, and you just finally noticed them. But yeah, it's, but he doesn't notice the flowers at all. Sometimes he'll say, oh, you got flowers, you know, because I don't for a period of time, and then I do. So they notice the difference, and that's where that medicine comes in, that it's a nice medicine to have. I suppose you can't with the cats.
Oh, no. In fact, years ago, like a friend would give me flowers and I'd have to put them up on the refrigerator,
Yeah.
because it was far away from any counters so that they couldn't jump up on there
Okay.
and eat them, because
Yeah.
that's what they would do.
Oh, that's really interesting. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I haven't had that experience. So
I haven't had flowers and things in years.
yeah. And I suppose even if you had artificial flowers, they would go after those too in some
Not
form or
really.
fashion. Really? Isn't that interesting? They don't have any fragrance, I suppose,
I
no
guess,
natural quality to them. I would think they'd be like toys.
Oh, toys, yes. I take that back. Yeah,
okay.
they do like to play with things. And
Yeah,
they'll
yeah.
play with anything.
Yeah,
They'll-
right. That
yeah.
that looks interesting. Well, I've seen those YouTubes on Christmas pets.
Oh,
and
yeah.
and I've seen the cats
Christmas
going
tree,
after.
Oh, Christmas tree!
Yeah.
Your ornaments are history.
Yeah, that's right. And they are, and the cats are like, you know, trying to grab the the balls off of there, and they
Yeah.
fall down and crash, and they're like, "Wow, what happened?" You know, it's like, you idiot.
I haven't had a Christmas tree in years either
Yeah.
because I had 12 cats the last time I had a Christmas tree up, and they climbed it up. I mean, I think there were 3 or 4 of them in the tree at one time. I'm squirting them with water. They're just looking at me like, what?
This is what we do.
At all. And then after the 3rd time they knocked it down, I put it away. I was like, no more trees.
No more of that.
Till after the children
That's
are dead.
it. That's it. Until after the children are dead.
Yeah.
We had some interesting situations with the play, and it has been. I think I've come home to appreciating peace more and more and more. I've always had it that I want peace in my life because my family growing up was all drama.
And that was your word this year, wasn't it?
Yeah, peace. Yeah. It was peace. And so I've had that be my word for the last 10 years, and it's taken me that long to get to this point.
Well,
So start now or forever hold your peace, because literally. Yeah, I'm not kidding. I mean, if you can do an affirmation for peace, if you can say that I want peace in my life, you know, I have gratitude and peace, whatever you want to say, start now and say it every day, 20 times a day if you have to start with. Go look in a mirror and say it to yourself, talk to you, and tell yourself that, and get that really into your head, because it's going to take that long before you literally are looking for peace. You're going to be looking for it wherever you go. You're going to be like, okay, you people, go away, get away from me. I don't want to deal with that. I don't want to hear that. Too much drama. Too much gossip. You know, you don't need to do gossip, and you don't need to do, you know, embellishment or exaggeration. That was my mother. She was great at exaggeration. And I think I was in my 40s when I worked for a guy who put a squelch on my exaggeration.
I didn't know you exaggerated.
Yeah. Oh, you know, everything was bigger than life, you know, and 20 people were there, not just 2, 20, or whatever it was. Everybody was there. That would be the word. Everybody was there. There was only 2. And he was really good at, okay, is that exactly what did they say exactly, Crystal? Exactly what did they say? And I thought, oh, okay. And having, you know, been in theater, that is a thing in theater, that you are exactly, you know, pertaining to something. But my mother was all about exaggeration. Everything was bigger than life. The whole world had come to an end. The drama was huge. And so I was very good at it, and I can still be very good at it. I can probably do it on stage, but do I want it in my life? No, not anymore. And we still have relatives who come to visit, and they're full of that stuff, and it's like, how do you live with yourself? How do you...
It makes you tired,
It
doesn't it?
does. You know, and that's what we're going to talk about later. So it's about what drains you. Drama drains you, and it is really hard, because even with doing the play, I mean, and that's going to be a whole nother conversation. So, yeah, but it can be very draining, people's drama.
So the next part of this is 3 questions to ask yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So the first question is, when have you felt most alive and joyful?
I actually do feel very alive and joyful when I'm directing, because I have everybody's drama coming at me. They can't get any more alive than that. But it is joyful because I really enjoy what I do over here. Well, all of that is going on over there. Okay, go ahead.
Well, I have several times when I feel
that's
alive.
good. That's good. More than one. Let's go for that.
So mine are performing on stage,
Okay. She loves that.
making a crochet or crafting project, especially if it's something, you know, that's a challenge to me. For crochet, it's like, really brings me to life. Shopping makes me feel alive.
Oh, I thought you said chopping.
No,
It's
shopping.
I've really never known her to chop a lot of things. So, okay, shopping is, and it can be very relaxing. Yes.
Organizing and decluttering brings me alive too.
Oh yeah, I agree with that.
And then editing our videos really brings me alive.
She
because
just
I love
loves
it.
that. Yeah, I think that gives you peace.
I think so.
Yeah, it's very, you know, okay, we
Calming
got
and-
this all together, and it's all coming together, and then you have a product when you're done. That's always nice, to have a goal in mind.
And then
Finish
writing. Writing is
Writing, yes, she does write. She writes a lot. Yeah.
In fact, I just wrote a couple poems at school the other day.
Oh,
And I haven't written poetry in years.
Have you read it to the kids?
No. Oh, no. It's not for them.
Adult. It's adult poetry. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, not.
I know what
Yeah.
you mean.
It's clean. It's just not for. Poetry to me is a personal thing. It's like I'm not going to share it with that many people.
Okay, but would it be good? I mean, would you have one that you could share with the kids that here's somebody who wrote poetry
Well,
that's standing in your midst, which I think would blow their little minds,
maybe
or should blow their little minds.
because we're getting into poetry next.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. So you say, "Oh, here's a poem that I wrote." Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, and-
or you can write
yeah.
one just for them if you want to. You kids are crazy.
You're not just crazy, but you're also lazy.
Yeah, there we go, and it rhymes. See how
Yeah.
it rhymes?
But I mean, it's not like I suppose I could share these with them, but it's the poems I wrote were about like losing people that you love and getting older and things, and I didn't want to like bring them down. It's not like I'm embarrassed by them, but it would be something I would probably put them in one of my books or something.
Yeah,
but,
be more intimate.
Yeah.
So you might have to, and the way you write, you could write pretty easily on their level,
Yeah.
go down to the 8th grade level when you're dealing with your ninth and 11th.
Yeah.
Close enough. 8th grade, 7th,
Oh,
8th grade.
and that's another story for another video. It's about these kids.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. We got kids everywhere. Yes, children. What are you going to do with them?
Okay.
Okay, so moving on here with our next.
two.
I was going to see if I could think of anything else
That brings you
me joy. Life and joy. My little brother has 4 children, and he says, my children are life. And because they have sports, they have theater, they have activities that they do, and the whole family goes. And that's what brings life. So children, even though we were ready to throw them all out the door, working on the play, they do bring a lot of life. More than you really need at the moment, but
and energy and
lots of energy, too much energy, but yeah. And so they do. So again, if you can,
undirected energy.
yes. I was trying to direct; it was not working.
Yeah.
But if you can look at them from that point of view, it's the life that is in them, and the life force and the energy that comes from them is amazing. If you can tap into it only for a reasonable amount of time, and then walk away.
That's why grandparents love their grandchildren because
they
they're around
can
them
give
only
away.
limited amount of time. Then go home.
Go back to your parents. Here's all the sugar that you want because grandma and grandpa love you, and you can move on. Okay.
Be off with you.
Yeah, be gone. And I think so. So they are life and they are joy if you can take them in small increments.
Doses,
yeah, and that's got to be hard for parents. I did not physically have any children, so.
Well, that's like that Christmas song about and mom and dad.
Oh yeah, I can hardly wait for school to start again. Yeah. It's the truth. It's like they're home for Christmas.
Yeah. So, what are the things you think you should do, but always flatten your energy?
I didn't write it that way.
How did you word it?
I had what happens,
Drain you.
What drains you?
It's kind of the same thing.
Okay, what drains you?
What drains you?
Mine
Yeah.
is people complaining.
Oh yes. Oh yes.
I mean, and even if they're kind of, my mother was good at complaining and making it sound funny, but yet when you were around her, you were completely drained and you couldn't figure out why.
Well, yeah. If that's all they talk about
is everything was wrong. Yeah, it's just draining. But things you should do, and they drain your energy. What should you do?
Well, for me, it was applying for jobs.
Oh yeah. You should do that, but it drains your. Yeah, no, that did me too. That's true.
And making
That's true.
and taking phone calls. I just.
And decluttering. It's something you should do. Well, you do. I mean, don't tell me you don't just sit and look at stuff and go, "Yeah, I'll get to that later."
Well, it can be overwhelming.
Yeah,
like
it can
that.
be.
That's one thing.
That'll
if you
drain
just,
you.
Yeah, that will definitely drain
Yeah.
you. But if you're just looking at like one area and concentrating on that, then you're just like, you know what you're doing, you know where you're going,
Yeah.
you
Yep.
know how to get there,
Yep.
and it's done.
That's what I did this week. No, the week after the play, I took one room. Well, I took this room too. I had to find the floor because during the play we had stuff that I was ordering, and then that didn't work. So now I have to return it, and it's sitting in a box over here because I didn't have time. And I think I had a whole wagon full of returns on Tuesday that I took in because I just never had time to do it.
And that's another thing that's draining is moving things. Like
Things.
if you have to pack your house and move to a new house.
Oh, moving is terrible. Yeah, moving is very, very draining, although I'm good at it. Jeff hates it. But I can do it because I'm organized.
Yeah.
I have everything labeled in boxes and whatnot. But yes, it's very time consuming and it can be very draining. Having done the play was very draining. As much as I like doing it, it is, there's constant people coming. In fact, I need to write it all down. I haven't done it yet. I should have written it down while I was going through it because, no, you can't make this stuff up. You just can't. The stuff that people come up with, well, I can't do this, Crystal, because and because and because, and I can't do that because and because and because, and I'm like, when I did theater and I was acting, the prop people gave you the props and you worked with the props. You never asked them a question. You never said, oh, I can't work with this unless it was too tall or too short for me or something like that. But for the most part, this is what you get, so just be happy, and you're going to work with it, and that because there's too much going on, there's too many people involved, there's too much stuff, and nobody's got the time to worry about you, and it's not about you, amazingly enough. It's about the big picture and what it looks like to the director, and how it lays out. And so there's these little, different kinds of props, different things that go on. Well, we had the problem with the cookies. Lord have mercy. We had to take away the cookies because the kids would forget, like they forgot everything that they were doing on stage. They would be cookie in their mouth and their line would come, and they couldn't say the line.
Well, and not only that, but it's like you have a cookie during the play. That's it. But backstage, they were like, "Oh, where are the cookies?" And I'm like, "No, you don't get any more right now."
Yeah, right. I know. It's just
they are a prop. You don't eat the props.
Yeah, that's it. You don't eat the props. But I remember, I think you had 4 cookies out there, and the 2 kids each took 2 at one point. That was the last. That was the end. That's where we stopped.
And then one of them was like, "Oh, can I take the rest of these home?" It's like, no, they are a prop.
They're a prop. I know. We keep them in the refrigerator. We know what we're doing here. I mean, but it's hard to explain, and that's why we're going to start acting classes. And I actually, God really laid on my heart that these people need acting classes so desperately. Oh my goodness, I had no idea. I took 4 years of acting classes, and it was all these exercises that you do. And I think it took me 5 years after getting out of there. I was on stage going, oh, now I get why we did those. Now I see how it works. So hopefully when I do it, I can explain why it works. They never did that at school. We just kept doing exercise after exercise after exercise.
Do it because I tell you to do it.
Yeah, and that was it. And we were studying the books, from the different method actors and all that kind of stuff. But I just never put it together. I don't know I don't know what goal I had in mind.
Well, I think your goal was to act. So,
yeah, I guess. And it is a totally different thing. I mean, you can be a ham and you can have the nerve to get on stage, but wow, it's a technique. It's a thing. There's a lot involved. There's a lot of backstory. There's a lot of, everything.
And then there was that time, because I cried on stage a lot for the play.
A lot.
So one time we were in rehearsal, and I turned with my tears in my eyes to
Ryan.
Yeah. And he's got this big grin. Are you really crying?
Yeah, I know. He has this big grin. I had to keep people from looking at him because he naturally smiles all the time. And it's just like, and it's like, I'm going to turn to you and say a sad line, and what is that? And people were just, they couldn't talk.
He's like, how do you do that? And I said, it's called acting.
That's what it's called. Hello. Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing. And I remember a couple of times really getting myself into the zone and really looking at those people and saying, you need to dig down deep. You need to hear this from yourself. You need to hear it within yourself. And I can see they just don't get it. I mean, it takes time to learn that.
Well, and we were in rehearsal till, what was it, October before they were off book?
Yeah. And it's not that long a play.
Yeah.
It's 40 minutes.
I was off book within 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I had the most lines.
We had one that came in, one of the kids came in after a day. She did, but they didn't have a lot of lines. But the hard part with what I discovered with the children, and this is a whole nother thing, I think, with the children is learning lines was one thing, learning the nuances and listening to other actors.
Oh, yeah.
See, that's a practice thing.
There's a difference between saying, Dad, what are we going to do now?
Yeah.
And going, Dad, what are we going to do now?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean,
See,
you know?
it's so different, and it was hard to explain to the children how to get that effect. And really, they didn't see a reason for it. They
Yeah.
didn't see the need for it.
I think if they see themselves on film, they'll start to understand because,
well,
maybe
I'm
not,
looking forward to that moment. We
just-
probably should watch this together, shouldn't we?
I think so.
Oh, I think this is
Because
good.
I mean, I remember my first play. I thought I did good.
Yeah.
You know? And I saw myself on film, and I was like,
That's
"That's horrible. That's like the worst. I stink." You know. So
I wish I had some of my first plays. I never.
Yeah.
I had some sketches from church, but that was about it.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, though. Oh, I think that would be a good idea. Once we get the films back, then we get everybody together and have a party and make popcorn.
Yes. And the kids will want to take it all home.
Yes, they did that the whole time. Okay, so moving on here.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, and then the three adjectives that have resonated with you. Okay, what's yours?
Oh, mine are empathetic, empowering. Well, I actually have 4. Resilient and resourceful.
There you go. I did. Oh no, I took that out. Oh no, I have resourceful. I have communicative, and I did have empathetic, organization, and exhorter.
Because you are an exhorter.
I am. I'm a cheerleader, glorified cheerleader. And I do tend to get in people. I go for the underdog. That's probably why I work with children.
That's probably why we're such good friends too, because I always did that in school too.
Yeah.
Everybody that was the kid that was picked on, I would befriend them.
Yep. Yeah. That's what I was doing all the time. That's why I didn't stay a cheerleader, because I wasn't willing to play that game.
Yeah, we know that story.
Yeah, that's a whole story. So do check that video out. Okay, so that should do it for us for getting those questions answered. And if you guys want to share in those answers again, what should you?
Yeah, I'll write them in the description.
Okay,
I'll
that's
write
a good
the
idea.
questions, and then you can respond and let us
send
know.
your answers of what just some thought on reflection.
Yeah, self-reflection is always good.
Yeah. So give that a
Helps you
try.
grow.
And finding your peace too. Yeah, it finds your peace. So, alrighty. Well, as we always say, take care of yourself because nobody else will. Bye for now.